A black dragon, a destroyed castle, and a secret that changes everything. Black Dragon Murakan once ruled a place known for violent stormy winds. That place came to be called Murakan Mountain. But 1,000 years ago, everything was destroyed. The storm castle fell when Murakan lost a battle to the legendary Timar Runcandle. And after that, the dragon went into a deep slumber. But that wasn't the real truth. It is said, when you form a contract with a god, that god's guardian dragon also forms a contract with you and protects you. That's why Jean Runcandle always doubted Sodaret, because no dragon ever appeared. But now, Jean starts realizing something bigger happened in the past. Still, one question remains in his mind. Is Murakan really my guardian dragon? While thinking about this, Jean goes to meet Murakan, who is secretly hiding inside a hidden room of the Runcandle family. Jean brings him snacks, whatever Gilly packed for him, because he wants answers about the past and the truth behind Murakan and Timar. Jean asks, why did you fight Timar? Murakan casually replies while eating, how would I know? That was 1,000 years ago. By the way, is there more strawberry pie? Strawberry. And just like that, Jean realizes Murakan's biggest weakness. Backhand index pointing right, he's obsessed with strawberry pie. Next, we see Jean writing everything down in black journals. Every single word Murakan says. Murakan asks, do you even understand this? Jean replies, about 30%. Murakan is shocked, because kids his age can't understand any of this. Murakan says, don't lose faith. Kids your age are usually lazy. But Jean replies confidently, maybe for normal kids, but I'm a Runcandle. He explains, he has 12 siblings, because his father had a lot of time smirking face, and if he wants to surpass all of them, he has to work harder than anyone else. Then Jean asks something serious. Compared to Timar, how much would I understand? Murakan replies instantly, 0%. Because Timar was never a bookworm. He was just naturally powerful in battle. Murakan continues, you have potential, maybe even greater than him. But right now, you're not as good as Timar. That hits Jean hard. He gets disappointed, thinking he can never become like Timar. But then, Murakan says, you're Sodaret's contractor, just like Timar. You're still young and patient, but if you train properly, backhand index pointing right, you can become as strong, or even stronger than Timar. Jin's eyes light up. Really? Murakan says, yes. And do you know Sodaret's real name? Jean asks excitedly, what is it? Murakan replies, backhand index pointing right, infinite. Sodaret's power has no limit, which means, backhand index pointing right Jean also has no limits. Murakan tells him to cheer up, because now, he's gonna teach him a technique. Jean gets excited. Show me. But first, he says Jean needs to learn basic magic control, and teases him. It might take you 2 to 3 years. But then, Jean thinks he doesn't have that much time. Jean casually demonstrates basic magic control. Murakan is shocked. Jean thinks, I already learned this in my past life. Murakan smiles. People who learn this are called genius, but at such a young age you are genius among geniuses. Then he explains, backhand index pointing right, shadow energy comes from shadows. Backhand index pointing right, and all shadows in this world belong to Sodaret. Which means, backhand index pointing right, if Jean is Sodaret's contractor, fire he can become the owner of all shadows. Then, Murakan demonstrates, spreading shadow energy across the ground, as if the shadows themselves obey him. He asks, what do you think? Jean is completely amazed. Suddenly, the scene shifts. A deep, dense jungle. We see soldiers calling out, Lady Luna. It's Luna Runcandle, Jin's eldest sister. She stands calmly, next to the corpse of a monster she just killed. The chapter ends. Is Luna going to meet Jean? What will happen next? Backhand index pointing down, tell me in the comments. And don't forget